All right, let's get the very latest with Professor Mpho Matlala from the College of Law and School of Criminal Justice at the University of South Africa, who joins us to further unpack, of course, Shadrack Sibiya's testimony before the Madlanga Commission. Prof Matlala, it's always a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for your time. So quite the testimony from General Sibiya, right? To me, somewhat very evasive and appeared to basically do his utmost best to corroborate, without much success, though, Senthumule's version of events pertaining to the disbandment of the PKTT and the subsequent issuance of that instruction to transfer all dockets to General Senthumule, which he finally admitted, as you just heard, was in fact his own instruction. So do we take anything he said the past 3 days any seriously? Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to the viewers. Do we take anything he says seriously? Absolutely, we have to. But I will put context to that. General Sibiya's evasive testimony, as you so eloquently put it, is characterized by 3 elements. The first one you've already alluded to. He tried desperately to corroborate the testimony of Minister Mchunu. But the question is, why? And from where I'm standing, I think the why part can be explained only as an attempt at the time in 2024 to score brownie points with the minister. And why score brownie points? You will recall that in 2024, there was already anticipation that the General Masemola would be turning 60 in 2026 and would therefore be going on retirement at the end of 2026. And then the race for the position of National Commissioner started. So it was a succession race. You'll remember that before the 6th of July, the president had not signed into law that bill that extended the retirement age to 65. So pretty much we were all under the impression that the age is 60. So that is part of the reason why the corroboration of Senthumule's testimony. You'll recall that the evidence given by Ngabinde on the telephone call he had with Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, where Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi said, "I don't want the minister to get caught up in the fights between the officials." So now we understand what the fights are about. Part of what the fights are about is about the succession battle for the position of National Commissioner. Now, the second element of General Sibiya's evidence is always blame shifting. To say, no, the disbandment of the PKTT, there was no proper communication, or it was the National Commissioner who is actually misleading about the communication and so forth, when it is actually very clear that the National Commissioner, of course, was in the process of implementing the ministerial decision to disband, but he wanted it in a particular sequence. And General Sibiya took it upon himself as sort of de facto National Commissioner to start up his own parallel process, probably to please the minister in looking at the race for the succession race for National Commissioner. And if it's not blame shifting, the third element is that of, no, I'm not going to go down alone. General Senthumule also had a bad lift for 140,000 and so forth. And, it is everybody's fault. This one is implicated and so forth. But the big question remains, if he had known all this time that General Senthumule was in Ket Matlala's pocket and had a bad lift, why would he direct the PKTT dockets to the office of General Senthumule which raises a very, very more questions than answers. So that is, in summary, how I would have characterized the testimony in the past 3 days.
All right. And Prof, maybe a very quick one. I'm glad you addressed some of the points that I wanted to go through. Maybe a quick one in closing. Let's talk about what his credibility in that position is, right? Because now fresh allegations of not just being deeply involved in extortion as well as criminal cases. It's other stuff that is coming to the fore. So what did you make of these developments? Will he finally be put behind bars, or we still have to await the internal untrustworthy processes that have led to this rot from the start?
Initially, I did say he has to be taken seriously, and the context thereof is that his whole testimony points out to deep factionalism and battles for succession within the police, and that's why he has to be taken seriously, because this is the systemic rot within the police that needs attention, and it is in that context that I say he has to be taken seriously. But is he a credible witness? No, I really don't think he is a credible witness and the statement in your own defense, and make statements that are later disproved
All right, Prof.
not to be true.
Prof, unfortunately, I'm losing you there. All right, Prof, we're going to have to leave it there. Unfortunately, I'm losing you there in terms of connectivity. That is, of course, Professor Mpho Matlala there of the School of Criminal Justice at the University of South Africa, weighing in on General Shadrack Sibiya's testimony before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry that concluded at 4 p.m. this afternoon.